Hey everybody, byscreenside here today, bringing you another speed build video. Today's video is a traditional house. It is called Laurels Lane. It is so named because I built this house for my 100 baby challenge Let's Play, and the family in that Let's Play is called their last name is Lane. So that was the reason I called it Laurel's Lane, and the reason I built this was because some of the kids are going to be growing up soon, and I wanted just to kind of be able to just move them across the street. So this is the 40 by 30 lot in Willow Creek. That's like normally the BFF household with like Liberty Lee and Summer Holiday. So I did specifically kind of like build it with that lot in mind, but any 40 by 30 lot that is wider than it is long would probably work, or other larger lots than that. Um, it's about 141,000 simoleons and 4 beds, 4 baths. It does fit 8 sims total, so there's 2 double beds on the top floor, and then 4 single beds on the bottom floor. So I'd been wanting to build a traditional home with some diagonal portions on it. I really like that look, but most of the time I lose patience with it just because it roofing and sorting out interior layouts with diagonal sections can be somewhat difficult. Like right here, I was having some difficulty with the roof. Like I had to delete the upper room just to get the roof to stretch out correctly. I don't know what was causing that to happen because I built the room right back and it didn't cause any issues with the roof. But anyway, I also built a chimney there for instead of, using just like the chimney pieces that go in the roof. I like an entire like sort of side chimney. So that's what that piece is, and you'll see me later, I think at the very end of the build, which by the way, I did this build in about 2.5 hours, so this is one video. Woo! I did not have to break it up into 2 parts because I was being a slowpoke. Yay for us. So yeah, I got this all into one video, so I actually built this fairly quickly-ish for this size of a build, for that many bedrooms and for fitting that many sims. But yeah, I just kind of lucked out finding a good way to do it. So, and I really like this build. Every time, it feels like every time I build something like that becomes my favorite build, which is a good thing because that just means, I'm getting better, at least a little bit. At least for me, I am. I hope I am. But yeah, no, this is probably my new favorite build because I really like traditional style homes, and I think this one is particularly just very realistic looking. There is one thing with the video I didn't capture, is that this in the front you can see this sort of like top balcony, and then in the thumbnail I'm sure you saw that that is a roof. So I do change the balcony to a roof, and I did that when I was playtesting, so I don't have that part on camera, but there is plenty of screenshots at the end, and then of course, the thumbnail in and of itself, and of course it's available on the gallery. I put it up on the gallery a few hours ago. I knew I was going to be doing this voiceover later, and I had the game open, so I just went ahead and did it, and it actually has like quite a few downloads already, so more so than most of my like way more so than most of my average things that have been up forever. Like it immediately had more downloads than some of my other builds that have been on the gallery for like a long time. So I guess other people felt it was okay for the, at least the ones who downloaded it did. But yeah, so if you want to check it out and see what it looks like in game a little bit more closely, of course you can download that from the gallery, and I will link it in the description. So the way I did it for grown-up kids, but I decorated it for like sort of like a family. I mean, I didn't want to build something so specialized as like this is for your 100 baby challenge children after you move them. Like, I mean, it's a popular challenge and everything, and I'm sure lots of people would need a house for that reason, but didn't want to get that specific. So, I put in a kid's room and I put in lots of activity items, things like that. And of course, we're doing landscaping now. There are lots of trees and, it's very well manicured and just sort of, it's not too crazy, so it's just sort of really nice. Um, when another thing that I did that you might catch in the screenshots is um, there were just a couple things that I couldn't help but add in the playtesting that I didn't, capture on video. I feel guilty about that, but then I think, I'm not gonna leave it out just because I didn't manage to capture it. Cut out a little bit of landscaping, but you're still going to see like the major gist of it. And I liked the sort of little windy path. I thought it looked a little bit better than just like going straight into the porch that way, like I initially had. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. Landscaping. Oh yeah, so there was like a little statue that I found. Well, it's not a little statue, it's actually kind of a big statue of a snail. And I was like, that would look really cute in like the little front like garden thing. So I kind of like put it like it's kind of hidden among like the bushes or whatever, but you see like a kind of little silver snail. I don't know, I thought it was like a cute little sort of garden decor item or something. I don't necessarily know that it's meant for gardens, but it's a snail, so why wouldn't it go in the garden? It only makes sense. So if they didn't mean it for it to be for the garden, then I think I came up with a better use for it than whatever the initial intended use was, and that's just my opinion, and I stand firm on that. Yeah. So in the on the little side portions, the house looks like a little bit more brown, but that is definitely a gray siding. I don't know, maybe it's just like the way the light is hitting like the little diagonal parts. So the whole backyard is mainly just this back deck. We filling out the pool right now. It's a little pool. Did my signature flowers in the pool thing. So if you're new to this channel, I that is something that you'll see me do with pools a lot. I love those little get together tiles that form a little flower pattern, and I put pool lights in the center and flowers in the pool, and that's just my thing. I don't know. It's like my signature move right now. I like that little what's that thing, like the pool cleaner wand thing that's I put hanging on the side of the fence. I had to build a wall for a minute because I wanted to make it look like it was hanging from the top of the fence. Um, and then I used this little side table from the Day of the Dead challenge. I'm like kind of obsessed with that table right now. Like I want to like put it in every build that I do and like just like go on vacation with it and stuff. Like it's I'm totally all about it. And also using the wind chime from the backyard stuff pack so you have a nice tranquil environment. There is a grill also out on the back porch in the final outcome. And then again, there's lots and lots of screenshots at the end, so anything that I mention, anything, if it changes, I always make sure to get a screenshot of it, like anything that I changed afterwards, just to make sure that it's represented in some way in the video. I always try to do that just because I can't help myself but make changes once I go into playtesting, and usually I will, in the recording, and then hop in and do playtesting because that just, it doesn't make sense to do the recording of that. But this house is a bit of a challenge just because of so many, you know, the reason I don't do diagonal portions of houses very often is just because working out, I can get a little bit frustrated working out sort of like the irregular corners, like the closets from Get Together. It's one of my favorite items in the game, but they do not work on a diagonal properly. Like if you try to enclose them in a wall, like if you have it, vertical or horizontal, however like the orientation is either straight, not diagonal, then it will work just fine. But like on a diagonal, if you draw a wall around it, it still has like a bit of a distance between the wall and the like I don't know if you can see it in the video. It was a little bit earlier, and I think it was just too dark because I didn't have a light in that room. But you could see that if you try it out in your own game, like it just does not fit into a diagonal wall properly. So my task in making this first floor layout, I mean the upper floor layout, there's no diagonal sections to the house up there, so that was no problem. It was like very easy. And the upstairs portion of the house, like I make really good use of the layout, I thought, but figuring out how to do this layout and avoid as many as like some like sort of oddly shaped sections just were gonna have to happen. Just there was no avoiding it. But I did my best to um, make everything as smooth as possible without a lot of wasted space. Um, because like I could close that off to make it a straight room, like you see in that little corner section over there. But then you just have this sort of blank thing when you're playing in the game, and like that tends to bother me. Like I don't mind a couple of little sections of rooms that don't have like that aren't accessible or don't have purpose, like columns and things like that on exteriors or what have you. But like a lot of in the if it's in the center of like the living space, then that would be distracting for me. So I don't want to put anything in any of my builds that like if it would drive me crazy playing the game, I'm not going to put it in one of my builds and be like, you deal with it though. I hated it, but you got it. You'll be fine. I don't want to do that. Like, that's not cool. So, and I'm also getting really like I'm frustrated with things that are supposed to be white but do not appear white in the game. Like the door, like on the interior here, the doors, the stairs, the columns, the interior of the bay window, like they come out like off-white or gray, and I really wish, like the stairs especially, like like getting too frustrated. Like I'll specifically select a set of white stairs, and like at best, like right there you can see they look at best like gray, and not even like a light gray, like a very deep dark gray. So I think part of like my frustration with the way that the whites don't appear white enough to me on interiors. On exteriors, it's pretty great for the most part, but on the interiors, I don't know. There's just something uh, unfulfilling about the white. I don't know how to say it, but that's what. So I used a lot of dark wall colors in this build. Not, well, I mean, not a lot, but more than I might normally use. Like, I use this dark gray in the living area, some dark gray in the kitchen. There's sort of like an activity room just off the living room here that I'm building that's got like sort of a burgundy shade to it. So I think, yeah, it was the fact that against, I love to use just like a white paint, um, especially if it's a modern build, but all of the white objects look so dull against it that I think that's what drove me this time around to use a much darker, richer neutral instead of I don't know, like a sky blue or a light gray or something, I don't know, or just a white. Because I don't know, I want the whites to look white for once. So I think everything looks sort of um, very classy and like a sort of a monochromatic color scheme here with just like little pops of color around in like the clutter and in the potted plants and things like that. There's a little, um, I filled up this little space here. I closed off one of them, but then I filled that one up with a cabinet, which I thought actually looked good. Like it just looks like something that wouldn't like that would probably kind of be in an entrance way. And then this desk over here in the corner is a little bit of a nod to there are a couple of nods to the Gilmore Girls in this build. That is a show that I had never seen until recently. And I think all the Netflix is doing like a reunion special for that show. I mean, it was on during like the 90s or whatever, but I think it must have been like reading articles and seeing things around the internet about the reunion show that Netflix is doing for Gilmore Girls that sort of put it on my radar. And then it came up in my recommended on Netflix. Which, I mean, to be fair, like everything comes up on my recommended on Netflix, even things I would never dream of. But I was like, you know what? Let me give this show a chance. Like, I see a lot of people talking about it online and stuff. And so I did, like, wind up watching basically the whole show on Netflix. So I did enjoy it. And now I'm, like, really, that's what led me into, like, watching Supernatural, which I've been talking about because one of the actors on Gilmore Girls went on to do Supernatural. And so I think that's just sort of, I've been talking about watching Supernatural in some of like my speed build videos lately and other things. And so, anywho, that little desk, there's like on the show, there's like a really cluttered desk in their living room. I'm love like the house. A lot of the houses in Gilmore Girls are just like dream house, dream house, dream house. That's my dream house. That one next to it is my dream house. Oh, look at that one. That one's also my dream house. Like it's like this, like dreamy, idyllic New England town where they live, and like every house is gorgeous and Victorian and looks if you've never seen it, like I don't know if it would be like, everybody's type of show that they would enjoy watching. It was good. It was better than I expected it to be. Um, like I honestly didn't go in with very high expectations, so it definitely exceeded my expectations. But if you don't want to see it at all for the the story, you're not interested at all, like maybe like watch a couple episodes just to look at like the utterly gorgeous houses in this like little town that the Gilmore Girls live in, because I got off on this huge tangent, but I seriously, oh, every house on that show, especially the one where they live, is so stunningly beautiful. Like this beautiful, like wraparound porch and tons. I totally just hit my desk, emphatically waving while I explained how beautiful their house was. Anywho, so in the show, they have this sort of like cluttered desk in their living room, and I like the idea that there's just someplace, you walk in the door and you toss the mail and your keys and your book bag and your purse or whatever, you toss it all in that little area. And then this is the second nod to the show that I did, and that I put in a coffee machine because they're obsessed with coffee. They drink coffee constantly on that show. So that was the reason I used the coffee machine. I made like a little coffee area, and then I used the dine out stuff to make this sort of little nook. Everything, by the way, works so they can get in on all four sides of that booth. They're not going to fuss about it. I tested it with the household that normally lives there, four Sims, and they were able to get four Sims around that table, no problem. They were able to get into the closet just behind it without a problem. So everything on the lot that I tested, which I usually do a really good job of play testing, I don't usually miss much. Everything works. So although I think the coffee grinder, I say that and then I see one thing that I'm not sure because I don't know if I updated that or not, but the grinder has to be on the opposite side of the coffee machine. So if they have a problem using the coffee machine, just like use the tall skinny one, just flip it to the other counter and they should be able to use it. So that is one thing I'm not entirely sure. So that's one of those like weird little corners that I was talking about, just trying to make it work. So I just put a teddy bear in the corner just to sort of draw the eye away from, like, it's really dark there, so that ugly corner is just sort of not in anybody's way. This room is all geared toward kids' rooms. So the two rooms on the first floor are two bedrooms. I wanted to make sure this fit 8 Sims because I am using it for my Let's Play. So on the other end of the house, from the opposite of the one I'm building right now, the other bedroom, I would normally, for any other house, done it as a one bedroom or like a one bed bedroom, like for maybe like a teen or something. But because I did this with a specific purpose in mind, I just did like one kid's room and then one room with two single beds just because I wanted to be able to fit the max number of Sims. But that's something that you could easily change in your game because, as you'll see, it's like a very plain Jane sort of room. So it'd be more like sort of like a guest type room, like a family guest room. Or for non-romantic adult Sims to share. I don't know, but you will see. I did sort of like just a weird little carpet pattern. I just wanted it to be like a sort of fun, funky little kids' room. And the wallpaper is brown now, but it is like a blue shortly. You'll see me change it here later on because I found a blue that I thought like worked perfectly with those bedspreads. Yeah. So I really love that red clock from the backyard. Kid stuff pack, blah, 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 blah. So this is a little activity room that I'm doing. And so this winds up having the don't break the llama, don't wake the llama, don't drop the llama. I think it's don't wake the llama. I think that's what it is. So it has a don't wake the llama game. And then I don't know why that's striking me. It's really funny, but it did. There's that blue. Okay. The llama game, and also a easel. Wow. I can't remember one word, and then I can't remember any more words ever again. But yeah, the easel, and I had to look through the catalog to find like one item that I was remembering. It's like I think it's a reward from the painter career. It's like just like a cart that has like paint and stuff on it. And okay, so this is another one of those weird angle situations. Not where I'm putting in the easel here, but in a moment you'll see me trying to work out putting cabinets behind the computer desk to kind of smooth out another weird angle situation. And that is one that is another thing that I had to change a little bit after I got into playtesting. I could see just how distractingly glitchy, like I tried to like mush two cabinets close enough together so that it looked like a cabinet's wall behind that desk, but it was just too glitchy and too distracting. So in playtesting, I found another way to make it work, and that is in the screenshots. I get a really good shot of it. It's like in like a cabinet on one side, and then some shelves with a painting behind them. So it kind of makes this little area like a shelf area, but I don't know, you have to look, but it's in the screenshots, and of course it's in the final build version. Do make sure that if you do download this from the gallery that you turn on the move objects cheat before you place the lot. I would recommend doing that in general anytime you get anything off the gallery, because I don't know that there are many builders who don't use move objects on. So, in general, I would recommend doing that. But yes, if you do download this, make sure that you open up your cheat panel, Control-Shift-C, and type in bb.moveObjects and hit enter. And then down, and then place the lot. I didn't mean to say and hit enter that aggressively, like, and hit enter. Do it. Sorry. I like this little bathroom on the first floor here because pretty pink flower, and it just I don't know, just sort of a kind of little girly, little feminine little bathroom. I really like it because I do like girly and feminine things, I'm not gonna lie. So, but yeah, this is the other bedroom that I was talking about that's just very sort of plain and simple. Just sort of I could have done this as a, like, just put one bed and it would have been, you know, like it could definitely be decorated. It has enough room to put in a single bed and then maybe some other things to make it an individual bedroom. But I don't know, I just pictured it as being for like either guests or for like maybe Sims that don't like spend a whole lot of time in their bedroom, like they just go in there to sleep. I know a lot of people who, like, that's me. I don't watch TV in bed or like I don't, the only time I'm in my bedroom is like if I'm getting dressed or I'm sleeping. That's it. Like I used to, I mean, when I was like younger and like I lived with my parents, of course I spent a lot of time in my bedroom, but you know, no, now that I have my own place, I only go in pretty much in there for sleeping and stuff. So now you know new things about me. I I use this painting from, I think it's from the Kid Stuff pack, which I don't think like all of those versions of that particular painting are necessarily all like kids stuff theme. Like I don't think they're all too childish looking or anything. Um, but it's a really good tip if you're not like that great at figuring out like what colors to use, to like pick one piece of art out and then just use the colors from that piece of art to be the color palette for the whole room. So you'll see like it has, you know, like a light aqua and red and some blue and everything and some green, and then that's what I used to like decorate the room as well. And then I did the same thing. I like wanted those string lights from the Kid Stuff pack. I've never used that item because I just never could find the opportunity. So when I saw it in the catalog, I was like, that's going somewhere. I'm making sure it goes somewhere. And so I just sort of did both of those rooms in the color palettes for the art that I chose for those rooms. So a little bit of a weird kind of thing to do with the shower in the middle of the two sinks, but I went for it. I was like, it works-ish. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I just did it. I let, you know, so there are two bathrooms on the top, and then the other bathroom for the other bedroom, I put in a massage table because there's not really a lot of room anywhere else in the build for it, and I felt like this was a little bit of a spacious bathroom, so why not put a massage table in there? Because, you know, like it's a nice bathroom. Like you can have a massage therapist come into the restaurant. Like it's not that weird, is it? I don't know. I didn't think it was that weird. Like, I mean, I probably wouldn't want to get a massage in a bathroom. Um, you know, real talk, but but I don't know. I thought it worked, and I did play test it. So I had them hire a massage therapist, and a massage therapist came in and gave my sim a massage without a problem in the bathroom. So there, the Sims didn't mind. I used that big crazy computer in this bedroom. I don't know why. I see it. It could be for like a teen sim. I didn't like make it too obnoxiously teenagery, but I did use the sort of, I don't know, I think those string lights look sort of like a teenager's bedroom kind of thing, and like the gaming computer could look like a bit of a teenager's bedroom, but I didn't go that specific with it. I did use a chimney from the roof objects here in a second. You'll see so that the chimney that I built has a smoke effect coming out, so you'll see me aligning that with the top of the chimney here just for that effect in your game. But anyway, so we'll be seeing the screenshots in a second. Until next time, take care. Thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.